Hello, everyone. My name is Ema Rimeike. I'm the founder of Quantum Cybersecurity Skills. And this is the third video we are doing with Elad Ortiz. And we will be covering a third question today. Many security operations centers, they are trying to optimize machine learning, artificial intelligence technologies. And tell me, please, Elad, what are your views? What would you recommend to the organizations? What skills, technical and non-technical skills, to nurture to optimize the whole security operations center, taking into account the human factor as well as the technology?
That's a very good question. First of all, as technical skills, I would say that knowledge in programming languages or scripting languages is very important, because creating all of this automation is built on scripts and programming. A lot of Python being involved, and in some cases other languages, depending on what system you're talking about. And a lot of systems develop their own languages to query the system themselves, in order to create these playbooks and create all the things in the background to create the automation to actually work and to maintain it. So I think it's critical to understand those languages, because once you know one programming language, it's very easy to understand another one and to adopt, another type of technology. So that's very critical, first of all. Second thing I think is very important on the technical side. A lot of times SOCs don't have the budget to purchase like expensive devices or expensive automation devices or machine learning services that you have out in the, in the industry, or so you can always use open source resources, and you could use like Yara rules and Snort rules, and that's very critical knowledge in order to detect for detection, because those are very powerful tools that can be used, and they've been proven to work over and over again, and we've been seeing them work.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can create your own automation once you have knowledge in some programming languages, and then you have the knowledge in these different technologies and detection methods. So you can create your own automation, and then in order to maintain those systems, you need also some knowledge with system administration and even PC technician. Understanding how to maintain your system. If you have a physical server that's running all these automation services, you need to know what type of resources you need, for hardware in order for that to work properly, and so your server won't crash all the time. And however, how to even create a bell that rings every time there's an alert, and how to create those circuits that, the SNMP traps that will work together. And that's, very common networking knowledge also. So you need to know all of these type of, you need to have all of this knowledge in order to maintain this, type of environment, and even to develop one. And then I would say on the non-technical side, the first thing, one of the main thing is flexibility. The ability to adapt to all of these new technologies that are happening, or emerging, and new types of attacks that are developing, that you need to adopt your technology to, and have the ability to have that flexible type of state of mind. That's one thing. And then you have to be creative, because you need to start thinking about, new types of services that you might need in order for new types of detections. You might need to start thinking about open source resources and how to connect them with your type of feeds, and try to detect, optimize your detection.
Yeah.
So you need a little bit of creativity, even if things that you've never seen working together, give it a try. Why not? You never know if it might work. Because we always make things that don't have to work in a certain way. We make them work in ways that we want them to work, even though the vendor says it can't work that way. So it's always nice to be creative, because then you gain a lot of added value of yourself and your team, basically, because you're thinking with open-minded and out of the box. So that's another thing. And then another non-technical skill, like I saw on the video last night with what's her name,
Morena
from
Lavin.
Mexico.
Yeah, correct.
Curiosity is one of the most required non-technical skills, because you need to be curious and always want to know more and want to know what's happening outside and what's happening new that you need to implement in your environment. And those, I think, are like from my aspect, the main points that are critical for to integrate all of these type of technologies and these new methods and machine learning, and we're going into deep learning, and we're going into all these new technologies. So it's always good to have the technological knowledge, and also the flexibility and trying to adapting to all of that. So
to this point, I'm actually I've been asked to collaborate with major pharmaceutical organization in Germany to create series of articles about secure digital transformation. Because there is a lot of focus on the security part of digital transformation, but one of the gaps is that reality is slightly different, and one of the points identified for this was security operation centers could benefit from additional skill, which is business acumen skill, business understanding the business value. There are many, they are usually technical people working, and they are brilliant in what they're doing, but just to help, again, to translate the efforts of security operations center into the business value. And another one was, which you also touched upon in previous video, communication, how to bridge two departments, how to identify, how we can help each other to do our jobs better, because usually there are silos. Again, there is a lot of talk about interdepartmental collaboration, but reality is, again, listening to the real people, real organizations. The reflection is slightly different. Again, how we can help them. So again, what would be your perspective on this? And then I'll touch upon quantum influence.
That's a very good question, because I did mention that I always advise to the SOC teams to start looking into the business aspect of where they're working at, where the operation center is located at the organization. With MSSPs, that's a little less of the case, because it's very hard for them to get into the business, because they're not inside and they're not allowed to see all of the information and know all of the information. But it's still very important to start understanding these business aspects is very critical, because everything now is being done online. Like you said, it's a digital transformation that's been going on this past 8 months, you could say, basically a very aggressive one. And everything is moving to online services. And I don't think that the security operation field I think in general, it's just the security operations at this moment. They're not getting the full insight of what's coming in and how it's, because it's coming in such a fast pace. It's very hard to adopt it. And that's why it's very critical to be flexible, you know, and to be creative in how you're adopting all of these technologies. So these are like the main, you know, focal points that I see that are critical for all of these aspects. You know, is trying to implement it. It's being creative and implementing all of these new business models that are incoming. You know, they're an outcome of business processes that are going through the online services, and it's still not being monitored enough, and I don't think it's being educated enough to the basic, from the basic core of teaching cybersecurity, to look into the business aspect. And I think that's why the communication, you know, part is very important, to have a very strong mediator to you know, to mediate between the security operations and what's going on with management and the business aspect of the organization. So I think that's my point of view about that.
Okay. And if I may drop, you know, dropping into our conversation quantum elements. Again, been reading many articles until late last night about major financial organizations. One of them was the first one that went completely online. To your point, you know, the services are moving online, so it's official that one of them is completely 100% online now. And the other one was in the news about outsourcing with third-party quantum algorithms to literally, you know, and aiming to gain business agility through like live data and designing the services this or that based on the demands. So quantum, of course, can will help the business to get the results much faster. You know, it's almost like touching the live data, big data.
Right.
So again, you know, let's not be ignorant. It will touch sooner or later. It will touch, or like quantum will arrive and will influence security operations center. I can, again, based on what I'm reading, like prediction analytics, maybe where the threats will be coming from, you know, or better threat mapping. You know, there are many angles how it could be applied. So of course we don't know what is the right answer, but you know, based on what we see and looking into the future, what would you recommend security operations leaders, again, how to shape or what skills security operations talent skills to nurture? Is it more coding exercises alongside you know, catch the flag exercises, red team, blue teams? What how do you see future? You know, at this point of time we can only guess, but again, educated guess is always better than pure guess, right?
Right. Well, from my aspect, the way I see it developing, because it's becoming very much a warfare, you could say. It's going in that type of direction. It's the word cyber warfare is coming in more and more strongly in you know, state sponsored you know, hacking is being more and more sponsored.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more in the direction of going into quarterly or annually training on regular basis, in order to be able to deal with all these new types of methods that are developing all the time. And so in order for an army to be trained, you need to train them all the time. Or you need to go through training all the time. It's like when I let my guard down, I cannot let myself stop studying, because if I stop studying, I won't catch up. So it's always continuing to practice, and they're gaining. I think a lot of security operation centers are already seeing that they need those type of exercises, and it's starting to become more common. Red team, blue team, and purple in the middle, going back and forth. So it's becoming more and more common. I see more and more SOCs trying to push, budgets in order to do those type of exercises, in order to go to these specialized facilities where they have, experts on the other side doing the job really like a real-time scenario, like a real world, and they're actually managing to see the real results. And that's the only way you could actually train a good team. So I think that's the way it's going to be heading forward. And plus, they see that they need to nurture more and more programming skills into the field. So they're going. I see that incorporating more and more, because I see every security operation center analyst in his free time, when he has a few hours, maybe he's at night. So I see them studying. So that's very good, and everybody is learning, the coding, because you need to know how to use all these open source methods, and you want to connect to feeds, and you want to create all of these feeds to alert your SIM and everything. So I think that's the direction that's going. It's going more of a army methodology type of training direction, because it really is becoming a warfare.
But let's admit, cybersecurity does equal army style, right? Many phrases are taken from army, methodologies and so on. The longer I am in cybersecurity, it feels like unofficial, like I'm serving.
Yeah. The DDoA loop is basically, it's based on the army method by a general.
Correct.
So that's that's the method that we started off with, and that's the way it's going towards. But still, it's an open market, and we won't be an actual army, but the training methodology will be in that direction, I think.
Yes, and again, recent articles do suggest that there are a number of countries where they do retrain, upskilling, reskilling. They focus on this at military level. So the idea is that soldiers are no longer going to be humans, but it could be, flying machines, droids, some pilotless airplanes, you name it. So and it's more, without losing lives, how to win the war, how to capture the information, have your eyes and ears in the zone of war, and win it with intelligence, and humans with technology combined as the best. And again, I see this very realistically being echoed in security operations center in the future. It's already happening, but there is always, steps up and up, how to improve things.
Electrical facility, private electrical facilities are being attacked, and we're seeing it coming into state sponsored attacks are going towards private companies. So this is getting more and more serious. Yeah. That's correct.
Exactly. So our job is, not mine, but it's yours. You are the ones on the line. I'm just having an honor to interview fantastic minds like yourself and other experts in the industry. So it's been my pleasure, Elad. Thanks again for connecting.
Mine too. Thank you for the opportunity, and giving me the stage to come and talk with you. It was really a great time.
Yes, and let's keep the videos flowing on the internet with fantastic feedback that we are getting. Thank you so much for your insights once again, and I see you next time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.